everybody. Um, let's see. I just want to make sure y'all hear me. It was kind of pausing on my end, but I'm hoping it's okay now. Um, thank you. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of All Elite with Keeks. It is a big week, successful week in AEW. We are getting ready for some big business. Okay. You see, I had to get the hair done and everything. I had to look the part to talk about Miss Mercedes Moné, which we will get into later on in the episode. We have some things to talk about as far as Dynamite, as far as Collision, as far as Rampage, and then of course I'll give you some ROH results, and then we'll get on to the topic. Which the topic of this episode it is bets on yourself. Okay, and I we gonna talk about it because it don't just apply to Mercedes Moné. It's gonna apply to everybody, everybody that's watching, everybody that is a wrestling fan, just everybody, because that's what you want to do is bet on yourself. Okay, so let's get started. Before we I feel like it's something else I have to tell y'all, but it won't come to me later. But it's some big news that's been happening. Breaking news. You know, it's some stuff going on. We just heard that CJ Perry and um Miro has split up after 7 years. According to the TMZ report, it says, she's saying that they're still friends and things like that. They just grew apart. And sometimes those things happen, in a marriage. Sometimes you grow apart, no matter how many times you try to fix it and things like that, you just tend to drift off, you know? It tends to happen. So it happens to the best. And hopefully, both of them are able to heal and move on. And, because it happens in wrestling relationships and wrestling marriages. We see it all the time. People hook up, people become married, people break up. They ended up hooking up with other people that's in the wrestling. Like we see it all the time. So I ain't trying to, I ain't gonna be ugly or nothing like that. I'm gonna just, heal before you move on. Me from experience, y'all know my story. I'm very transparent. I was divorced and I know what that's like and things like that. And you heal, you move on, and you glow. Okay, so moving on, y'all. So we're gonna get started with the results from Dynamite and Collision. Now, Dynamite, it was very so and so on the so and so end, and Collision was really good. But we're gonna get into it. We'll talk about it amongst the chat. Everybody, welcome to the chat. How you doing, Sean, Malik? If you watching from Twitter, hey, how you doing? If you watching from um that other Discord, if you watching from YouTube live, welcome. All comments are welcome. Just keep it respectful, respect one another in the chat, and most importantly, respect the host because you will get up out of here. Okay, so let me get my hey Jalen. If you new, if you new to All Elite with Keeks chat, welcome. Y'all are a part of the show. Actually, the guests are the important part of the show. It wouldn't be, it's Women History Month. I just want to pat myself on the back. I've been consistent with All Elite with Keeks. It's almost going on 2 years. My 2 year anniversary will be around May. I know the date on my phone, but I ain't looking at my phone right now. But it's coming up, and I am proud of myself for being consistent with you guys, talking about AEW, what we love, for almost 2 years, dominating this thing. And I thank you guys for rocking with me for this long. I'm not the easiest person in the world. I know I have my flaws. I know some of y'all, it's hard to root for me for sometimes, but I really do appreciate y'all for hanging on. A lot of people don't want to, acknowledge their supporters, but I always acknowledge my supporters, and I really do appreciate you guys for tuning in every Monday. I am not All Elite with Keeks without y'all support. Trust me and believe me on that. Okay. So, anyways, let's get on with to talk about Dynamite and also Collision. So we're gonna get started on both openers. It was Swerve Strickland and Samoa Joe versus the Kingdom and Brian. Oh, I'm sorry, versus the Kingdom. And then on Collision, it was Brian Danielson versus Shane Taylor for both openers. Let's move further with the opener because we know Dynamite, it didn't start off as a match. It started off as a promo between, Swerve Strickland and, reassuring the audience and also the fans on his mindset and where he was at failing winning the AEW championship. And he was getting his one off. And then of course Samoa Joe came out and Samoa Joe was kind of letting bro know, places that they were standing and things like that. And then the Kingdom came out, Adam Cole came out and cut a promo. And we had the match with the Kingdom. It ended up being a tag match for our opener. We now, to be honest with you, we didn't ask for it, but it was decent. I'm not gonna say it was spectacular. It was definitely decent. But again, we didn't ask for it. And it's no shade to all four of these workers because they're great workers. Um, but with the Kingdom, and especially like Adam Cole and things like that, and I saw because I am signed up to the Patreon for WrestleNomics, and I saw the demo numbers, and as soon as they said that the Kingdom was wrestling versus Swerve and Strickland and Samoa Joe, that's when things kind of right when Adam Cole came out, that's when things kind of declined. That's when people started kind of turning the channel. Okay. So it was a fun match though overall. You saw the dynamic between Swerve and Samoa Joe. We obviously know that um what's going on between Swerve Strickland. He will be in the AEW main championship uh match and back on that top card again. And Samoa Joe, like I said, we're in the Samoa Joe era, so they're not taking that belt off of him soon. And in the Kingdom, they are still the ROH tag title, the tag champions. And they're Adam Cole was cutting the promo for in Warlow's behalf because Warlow is next up to challenge Samoa Joe. So we have the Samoa Joe and Warlow feud for the second time. No, third. It might be the third. No, this is the second time. This might be the second time. But this is different. So we ain't gonna count that, okay? And then after that the opener for Collision, it was Brian Danielson versus Shane Taylor. Now Brian Danielson versus Shane Taylor was a better opener for me prior to the opener that we got for Dynamite. I want to say Shane Taylor was great. It's like Shane Taylor is getting better and better and better and better. Like he was never a bad wrestler, but his confidence is showing 100 times than I have seen him before. Um, I would not mind seeing Shane Taylor or in STP be like the main heels in the mid card division for now. For now, I'm not saying like he's a mid carder or nothing like that because, like I said last week, you need that balance. But as far as to keep the AEW afloat, especially like towards pay per views and things like that, I would not mind seeing them put Shane Taylor in that top heel mid card um rank. Like keep him because you want a force like Shane Taylor. What I saw in the ring against Brian Danielson was like you could tell Brian Danielson was very impressed by Shane Taylor. And it was an honor to Shane Taylor for Brian Danielson to even want to fight him. That just says a lot of how they see Shane Taylor in AEW. And definitely and Collision works for Shane Taylor. And so I'm interested on what they're doing with STP and what they do with STP in the future because they was definitely holding it down breakdown of Ring of Honor if you're subscribed to ROH. And what they're doing in Collision, especially Shane Taylor, is great. And I see something like just put him as like the main character for the mid card instead of kind of like you got to rotate the mid card too, not just the top card, but the mid card. You want to rotate that to keep a fresh dynamic in within AEW. So put Shane Taylor on that top heel for the mid card division. It will work. Okay. Moving forward from the openers, I'm not gonna take too much time on it. And I know what happened after Bryan Danielson, but I'm gonna talk about it towards the main event. Okay. So if you in the chat like you ain't talk about this, I'm gonna talk about it. I already know. We're gonna talk about it towards the end. Okay. Um, next after that, FTR came out, and this was during Collision because this was a segment. FTR came out and they're declaring themselves to be part of the tag team tournament for the tag team champions that nobody asked for, I guess, but they put themselves in there. And then surprisingly, the infantry came out. And if you have been tuning in to All Elite with Keeks, I have been saying, and I've also been tweeting, I would not mind seeing the infantry being put in the tag team division. The infantry came out, they cut a good promo. The confidence was there. Like they always had it. Like Sean Dean, like they both are really good. And I thought now I hate when y'all do this to black wrestlers. Like y'all compare black wrestlers to they was getting I saw online they was getting called crime time and things like that. Like all black people are not the same. We come in different variations. We are different. Yes, we are all black, but all of us are different. The infantry, they serve their country. Respect them, okay? They serve their country. They're both veterans. And that's why they came out. Cause I saw somebody talking about some they wearing, street clothes, they wearing them army clothes and stuff like that. I'm like, yes, they serve their country. That's part of their presentation. So yeah, so shout out to the infantry. Magic City, the reference, I like that a lot. I like another tag team I would not mind seeing in AEW. Like they have been killing that. If you haven't been watching ROH, they have been killing in ROH. Okay, so it makes sense why they are now will be part of the tag team tournament. Now I know that they probably won't win. I would love to see them beat FTR, but I hope this is not the last time we see the infantry on the actual AEW main card. But if they are back to ROH, dominating the tag team division there, that is fine too. Matter of fact, if you're gonna put them back on ROH, I wouldn't mind them being ROH tag team champions, okay? Because they are really good. They're a really good tag team. All right. So then after that, we had Nick Wayne also on Collision. Um, Nick Wayne versus not a jobber, but he was an indie wrestler. His name is Adam Priest. Um, of course, it wasn't a long match. It was just debuting Nick Wayne's skills as a singles wrestler. He's getting back out there and things like that. And yeah, so it wasn't too long, and then it was just the after the stuff that occurred in that match. Christian Cage was attacked by somebody in a mask, and it ended up being Adam Copeland revealed himself in the mask, and Christian ended up leaving, holding the TNT Championship. Like that feud is still continuing between Christian and Ed. Well, not Edge. I'm sorry, Adam Copeland to the Adam Copeland fans. So you had that lined up. Um, and then so we'll move on to the next thing that happened, Dynamite and Collision with the matches. The match on Dynamite, it was Hook versus Brian Cage. And then on Collision, it was Chris Jericho versus CMLL's Titan. Okay, so on Dynamite, Hook versus Brian Cage. Now, this was another one that was on the demo chart from the WrestleNomics, what was posted on the Patreon. This match, and this was all Chris Jericho's fault because the promo before this match, it kind of rubbed people. It was just like, oh my God, you about to include this man with this that doesn't need to be, and that's what ended up happening. So people kind of tuned out. They tuned back in a little bit towards the end. It wasn't a bad match between Hook and Brian Cage. Again, it was just a little bit of because he's now going to be stuck with Jericho. And then, of course, after the match, Jericho comes out to save him because he ends up getting jumped by the rest of the Mongol embassy. And yeah, Jericho does not want to go home. Jericho, you really need to just go home. Like go home. Like you got to go home because you're causing funk right now. Like you were needed around 2019, 2020-ish, but now you kind of it's okay if you're a part-timer now. You don't even have to be a full-timer anymore. Like it's time for you to be a vet and step aside. Like step aside, okay? And I'm an ex Jericho holic. Y'all know it hurts me to say it, okay? But it's time for you to move to the side because what you're doing is you're messing up people's momentum. Like Brian Cage is not a part of you, but Brian Cage had a better momentum being part of the Mongol embassy, and then you're pairing up and you're getting involved with Hook and things like that. Just move to the side, okay? Let people see if they miss you. And if they don't, then they don't. But just move, okay? Move out the way. How many times I gotta say, like Beyonce said, when a queen come through from okay, let me not get on my beat. Okay, so yeah. Speaking of Jericho, he had a match with CMLL's Titan. Um wasn't a bad match, but again, the young luchadors are kind of carrying Chris Jericho. But then again, Chris Jericho has history in CMLL. I wouldn't be mad if Jericho just went on a CMLL excursion. That's to be away from us a little bit. I thought he was on tour, and that tour was like 2 weeks, and he came back. Like you upset, yeah, you upset me and my homegirls. You like just step aside. That's all we asking. Like just like nobody's saying that. Well, me in particular, because I know his history. Y'all know I was a big fan. I'm not saying he was a scrub. He never was a scrub in ring wise. Like he was the reinvention king. He will always have that title. He'll always be you was the first undisputed champion. You had 8 world championships from different promotions. Nobody cannot take Chris Jericho's resume from him. He earned everything that he has accomplished. But now it's just time for you, bro, to just step aside. Like I wouldn't mind him taking like a good 2-year break. A 2-year break. Or, maybe just come to terms with your wrestling career. Like he's only 53. I want to say 53. Cause Sting, we just saw him retired at 64. So I'm not saying that he can retire. I just just step to the side. I wouldn't mind him like just be a commentator at Rampage. Don't even be in the ring. Just commentate Rampage or something. But just step aside. Let us just retire at that point. No, he's not retiring just yet. But just step aside, Chris Jericho. Like, please just step aside. Or go heal or something. Go do something. Do something, okay? Um, it's like we're witnessing somebody going through a midlife crisis right in front of our eyes. It's like he's spiraling, but the only way that's saving him is wrestling or something. I don't know. I feel like that's what we listen like that's what we witnessing or something. Hey, the N and the H. So, and I ain't gonna take too much time on that match. But next up we had Dynamite. It was Kill Switch versus Daddy Magic, and then on Collision it was Mystico versus Angelico. Kill Switch, aka Luchasaurus versus Daddy Magic. Now that wasn't too. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. We didn't ask for it again, but it wasn't too bad. But it really showed Daddy's Magic aggressive side. I will say that. And I'm starting to actually like Daddy Magic as a wrestler, as a solo, not a solo, but a singles wrestler, and his role and his position in Daniel Garcia. I know this match started because the confrontation when Daddy Magic was protecting Daniel Garcia during the Christian feud or whatever. So I wasn't mad at it. It was decent for what it was. Okay, so and then on Collision it was Mystico versus Angelico. And if you don't know, Angelico is really like he's another person that's very important as far as in AEW with the luchadors and also Spanish side of AEW. He does the back, the work with translation and things like that. So he is definitely another person, another important person back there. And we do appreciate him too. And great match between Mystico and Angelico. I love seeing AE Lucha. They always got to make sure they show love to the AE Lucha division as well. So yes, no, they cannot CMLL wrestlers and the people that is signed with AAA cannot be in the same ring at the same time. But as y'all can see, they one wrestle first, one got to wrestle last type shit. So it's not, you know, so they got that worked out. Like my guy can wrestle, but the person I got signed can wrestle after yours wrestle. So we got that out the way. Okay. Um, After that, we on Dynamite, it was a Young Bucks announcement. And they was letting us know who was the next elite member, and it ended up being Mr. Okada. Okada came out, and Okada is part of the elite. We got heel Okada, and I am interested to see heel Okada. Now the Young Bucks came out, they said that Kenny Omega and also Adam Page is no longer part of the elite, and they are no longer VPs of AEW. They have been demoted. Um, so that's interesting. We'll see how long that will last. We'll definitely see how long they will last. Now, when they came out, on Collision, because we're gonna move on to Collision because they also, was introducing themselves as a trios on Collision. They faced it. They not faced it. They faced three other local stars, and they end up winning and things like that. Um, Eddie Kingston came out and it got real rough, and then Pac ended up showing up on a Collision. So Pac is back at AEW. We knew that Pac was coming back. He cut a promo, and we saw the promo at Revolution, and he showed up and he went face to face with Okada. So that is very, very interesting. And they will have a match coming up on Big Business, which we will talk about further on in the episode. Okay. But yeah, so shout out to Okada, and the talk around him was his contract. People pocket watching and stuff like that. People still expect wrestlers to get paid in bologna sandwiches and peanut butter jelly sandwiches and hot dogs and $5 and things like that. Like wrestlers are barely getting offensive line money. You know what I'm saying? Like they still getting NBA practice squad money. You know what I'm saying? Like they not even getting LeBron James money. They not getting Dak Prescott money. They still scratching the surface. Like they ain't not even getting boxers money. You know what I'm saying? So like for people to talk about he getting such a large, I'm like, baby, he getting a red shirt contract. Okay. So wrestlers like they need to get paid more, in my opinion, because wrestlers wrestle almost 365 365. Like they get no breaks. They gotta ask for their breaks. So I feel like wrestlers should be paid more than what they're paid, being paid now. But even if he is getting the pay that people was saying that he was getting paid, he deserves it. He's Okada. He's Okada. Okada's English too seems to be good, dude. But I'm not sure. I know Kenny can speak Japanese. Um, but even if Okada can't speak English really good, who cares? Who cares? We ain't on that Trump shit. We not on that anyway. Oh wow. Oh wow. But yeah, so let's I ain't gonna but yeah. They better like let's stop pocket watching wrestlers. Wrestlers in all companies need to get paid. Like they already the indies already fucking them over in indie wrestlers. So to see y'all expect main television programming wrestlers, y'all want them to be paid uh um what I say, y'all want them to be paid like teacher salaries and stuff like that. And no shade to teacher salaries because teachers need their salary raised too. But come on now, these people they put their bodies on the line for our entertainment. They got to deal with a lot of stuff for for our hobbies and our fulfillment of our inner childhoods. Because that's all it is. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it moving. And so on the main event, we had Kyle Fletcher versus Will Ospreay. And then on Collision, it was House of Black versus the Briscoe, Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett. Okay. Okay, so the main event for Dynamite, Will Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher, a match. Run it back. And it was a good way to debut Will Ospreay on Dynamite because what better he can debut and showcase what he can do than his little brother Kyle Fletcher. And y'all know Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay is the sons of Kenny Omega. Like if you do not see young Kenny Omega when you see Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay, them his sons. Okay. Y'all don't be thinking these wrestlers don't be having kids and they be having kids. Okay. Those are his sons right here, these two. And I'm still on my theory about it will be tension with Kyle Fletcher and Will Ospreay. I'm still on that. I'm still on it. I'm not giving up on it. Okay. I gotta see it and then I'll come back on here and be like, oh, you know what, maybe I was wrong, but I still kind of see them doing that, like leading to that. Okay. But it was a great match. And then after that match, it got a little bit interesting because Bryan Danielson came out. Um, Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay encountered each other. Don't forget Soup. No, I'm not. No, Soup. You know what? Yeah, Soup is his son too. Them is his son. Soup his son. Kyle Fletcher is his son. Will Ospreay is his son. Them his sons. Them his boys. But after that match, it was face to face with Bryan Danielson and Will Ospreay, and then of course on Dynamite it went off air, and then after on Collision after the Bryan Danielson and Shane Taylor match, Will Ospreay came out to Bryan Danielson, and looks like we got a match at Dynasty. Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson at Dynasty. This is going to be interesting because Bryan Danielson is still on his little run before he calls it quits because he said he wants to focus on his family and he has some fantasy bookings of his own. So we getting Will Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. This should be a great match and I'm looking forward to it on Sunday, April 21st at the St. Louis. Okay, St. Louis in the building. But yeah, we got that going on. And then again, Collision main event, it was House of Black versus Briscoe, Jay Lethal, and Jeff Jarrett. It was fun. I'll just say that. It was fun. I'm trying to understand why this happened. But I get why it's happened because Briscoe's, friction with the House of Black, but it's still just like to me, okay? And I like Jay Briscoe, so I'm not gonna pile on it or anything. I'm just like with House of Black, because I'm just like, if what we doing? What is we doing? Hopefully this leads to at least a Jay Briscoe versus um Malister Black. Hopefully. Because if it's something between them, then okay, do that. But I don't know, y'all. I just don't know. Don't quote me on it, okay? And that wraps up Dynamite and Collision. Okay, that wraps up Dynamite and Collision. Now, if you new to All Elite with Keeks, and you probably like, she ain't cover no women's match. It's a segment on my show called Women Business, and I get to it when I get to it for a reason. Okay, so don't fret. I ain't forget about the ladies. I never forget about the ladies. All right. So Rampage. We're gonna get into Rampage. I'm just gonna skim through Rampage and go on about the results. Rampage. The main it opened up with Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta, the best friends versus Butcher and Blade. And I love not Butcher and Blade. I'm sorry, Kip Sabian and the Butcher. I saw Butcher and I instantly thought of Butcher and Blade. But I love Kip Sabian. Shout out to the Kip Sabian fans in the chat. Shout out Sabian gang. We here. We alive. Kip Sabian, we love you. We love you. And I'm still on my theory with Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta though. I ain't let that go. It's still something there. It's something. And of course, Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta takes the win on that. After that, we had Action Andrade versus Penta. Penta takes another win. Penta is also somebody y'all need to be paying attention. He's been taking some wins, so I don't know where they're gonna put him in the ranking, but this is his second win now. His second win on Rampage. He's been winning on Rampage. So let's see what they doing with this. But Action Andrade versus Penta. Penta takes the win on that. And then the main event, it was a Private Party versus Top Flight versus Commander and Brian Keith. Um now I really did enjoy this match right here. And like I've been saying, you see that with Private Party and Top Flight, like I have been saying for weeks, and I'm not gonna let up saying it. They're building them so they can be the next tag team rivals. So if you keep saying like, why they keep adding Private Party and stuff, that's what they're doing. They're trying to build them. They're trying to see which crowd is for who, and that's why I keep saying you might as well make Top Flight the heel in the situation. Like make them the heel tag team. Make Private Party the faces. Make Top Flight the heel, because every time when it's Private Party versus Top Flight in any aspect, the crowd is more into Private Party more than they are with Top Flight. Build them youngsters up. Like think about it. Like especially too if you my Wakanda listeners don't take offense to it. Okay, two black champions, tag team champions. Two black tag teams be main rivals. We always talk about tag team rivalries, and adding them to that conversation is what you want. Okay. And that's what they're building. They're young and things like that. That's what they're building them up to that height. And we need that. So that's Rampage for you. So let me give y'all the Keeks ROH results. I'm not gonna break down. Just make sure you pay that $9.99 for ROH because they are still in the middle of the women's television title tournament. And also, it's some good people to look out for in ROH that you could possibly see ended up on the main card. Again, pay that 9.99 is worth it because ROH women business is cooking, and it's different people that I'm seeing on ROH. They are developing and they're becoming wrestlers of their own, and I wouldn't, I could see them on AEW cards. So I don't view ROH as a demotion. I view it as a building. I view it as it's a different promotion under AEW. It's still ROH. It still has that feel. It's just on a bigger platform now. Don't come in my chat with that. Don't come. Don't come. Gonna be like that boy talking about where is Queen Amunada, and then gonna get mad at everybody when we tell him where Queen Amunada. Let me be specific on the question I was asking. That man got sassy with us. Talking about some, I know she's in ROH. That's not what I'm saying. Like, dude, you asked the question. That's why we answered it. Like, is you watching them what, Mr. I cover women's wrestling? Where's Amunada? Where is Athena? Where has Nyla Rose been? Do you watch ROH? You gonna get sassy at us when we wrong and when he wrong. And then y'all like don't get mad at us because he was wrong or he didn't know. See, if you covering content, it's okay to not know. Y'all see my tweets when I be watching WWE and I don't be knowing, and people be telling me, and do y'all be seeing me get mad? Y'all never see me get mad. Y'all see me say, "Oh, okay, got you, folks. Oh, okay. Oh, I didn't know that." But people want to be right all the time. They want to just seem like they know what they talking about. You don't have to do all of that. If you don't know, you simply don't know. Like if bro would have just said, "I don't watch ROH, so I wasn't aware," we would have respect you even more. Now you sassy man in my eyes. But anyways, ROH results. The quarterfinal match of the women's television title tournament. It started off with Layla Hirsch versus Red Velvet. Red Velvet takes the win, so we're gonna get Red Velvet versus Queen Amunada, y'all. We getting Red Velvet versus Queen Amunada. Everybody better be watching too. We better be supporting them. Support them ladies. And then you had Abandon versus Judy Azul. Abandon takes the win on that. Lee Johnson, another person in ROH. Lee Johnson, y'all, he's developing as a wrestler. We just need to get a character for him. Like, we just need to get that. Once we get that, he's good to go, y'all. Lee Johnson versus John Cruz. Lee Johnson takes the win, but Lee Johnson, y'all, he's definitely, I see him. Lee Johnson, if nobody see you, Keek see you. I see you. All right. And then after that, we had Nyla Rose versus Ursha Dema. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I'm from Texas. I said my accent. I'm sorry. Nyla Rose takes the win on that. I love that Nyla Rose is in ROH. A great addition to ROH. Again, ROH is not a demotion, y'all. So if you look at ROH as a demotion, that says something about you. But ROH is still having those opportunities for different indie wrestlers out there. Because I know when AEW Dark and AEW Dark and the other one, Elevation. I know when they stopped doing that, it definitely hurt a lot of indie wrestlers. And now you have ROH, so you still have something to kind of focus on to get your name out there. So, don't lose faith, y'all. Don't lose faith. And then the main event for ROH, it was the Fatal 4-Way tag match. It was Serpentico and Angelico versus the Workhorsemen versus the Infantry versus Jack Cartwheel and Gringo Loco. And again, the Infantry takes the dub on that. And like I've been saying, the Infantry has been dominating in ROH. So it makes sense that they are put in a collision card. And ROH, just watch ROH, y'all. Watch ROH. ROH women business has been putting it down, okay? And we're gonna possibly see. It looks like that's what we're gonna see is Athena versus Sheeta on ROH. Now, if you don't like that, that's on you. That's on you, because ain't nothing wrong with Athena versus Sheeta on ROH. There's nothing wrong with that. Y'all need to stop viewing ROH as, down here, and then y'all got to stop doing that. Y'all got to stop doing that. All right, so let's get into some women business.
This is what you need to do. You need to stay out of women business.
Mm-hmm. Some women business. Okay. We have on Dynamite women business. It was Rio, our former AEW World Champion, our first one, day one, versus Chris Statlander. Great match between the two. Like it's time for Chris Statlander to be in that conversation. It's time for her to be in that conversation as far as being, I would say, top five American women's wrestlers. She needs to be in that conversation, Chris Statlander. She needs to be in that conversation now. Like it's no debating at this point. It's no debating at this point where Chris Statlander stands as far as being a women's wrestler and a wrestler in general. Is no debating. And Rio is Rio, and I'm pretty sure Rio was very happy that she finally has somebody in the ring. No shade now. That she has somebody in the ring that is as compatible as her. Because that's all Rio was like. I need somebody got to work. Somebody got to dance with me. So yes, two paired ACLs, and she works. So shout out to Chris Statlander. Now she took a L. She took a L against Rio. It was an unfortunate L, but it's playing along in the story between Chris and Willow and Malcolm. Uh, so yeah, Chris took a L against Rio, but it didn't do anything as far as Chris Statlander and what she stands as far as a wrestler. Okay, so next on Collision, we had Mariah May versus Trisha Dora. And Mariah May is on her Tony Storm's cosplay era and things like that. It's great. It works. I like it. This match moved me as well. I did enjoy this match between Mariah May and Trish Adore. Trish Adore is a great worker. I have seen her live when she's been out here in the Texas Indies when she's had matches. So I do enjoy Trish Adore. She does kill it in ROH. And Mariah May, she is phenomenal. I cannot I have nothing bad to say about Mariah May. She's pretty girl. She came from stardom, so she know how to work. She know how to work and things like that. So it was a great match between the two ladies. I did enjoy that on Collision. And then after that match, Mariah May ended up getting the Tony award from Tony Storm. Deonna Purrazzo tried to attempt to, ruin the party between Tony Storm and Mariah May, and she failed. She failed a failed attempt at it. So we'll see who will help Deonna. Deonna needs some help. She needs some help. Who will help Deonna against Mariah May and Tony Storm? Some people are speculating that it's Britt Baker. I don't know. Maybe the dentist come back. I don't know. And then on Rampage, it was Julia Hart versus Robin Renegade. Robin Renegade is my girl. I enjoy Robin Renegade a lot. I enjoy me some Robin Renegade. I really do. Her and her sister. The Renegade twins, I do enjoy them. Julia Hart, ma'am, come on, ma'am. Come on, Julia. You got to come with it. You got to. You got to come with it, okay? Please. I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm not trying to be negative or nothing like that when it comes to women business, because I want women business to continue to thrive. But I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. I'm trying. That's all I'm gonna say. But shout out to Robin Renegade. She did that. She did what she had to do. I do enjoy her. Because I need my TBS women's champion to step up. Step up. Step up. Okay. That's why I'm trying to get her. Like, if she's injured for real, like, I'm not trying to start my Willow Nightingale agenda, but my patience is all right. My patience is I gotta see something. We come too far. Women business came too far. Okay? We came too far. But that's all I'm gonna say about women business, okay? I ain't gonna stay on it. All right, so y'all know next week, well, not next week, I'm sorry, this week is big business week, okay? The card so far, main event, it looks like it's Samoa Joe versus Warlow. We got the new elites versus Penta, Pack, and Eddie Kingston. We got Darby Allin versus Jay White, Willow Nightingale versus Rio, Hook, Chris Jericho versus Gates of Agony. Gates of Agony. I do like them. Khan, here so Keeks don't beat my ass. I'm glad that you understand and you know that. Okay. But Khan's promo, I like that. Like I said, Japan did great for Gates of Agony. When Gates of Agony was in that tag team tournament over there in Japan, it worked wonders for them. And I like this. I put the belts on them. Just go ahead and put the tag team belts on them. Are we starting that agenda? Do I need to start that agenda? You know what? I'm gonna start it Wednesday. I'm gonna see how this match is on Wednesday, and if I like what I'm seeing, I'm gonna start that agenda. I'm gonna start it. I'm gonna start it. I hate they're gonna lose though. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. All right. So big business. Why is it called big business? We about to start with the main topic, y'all. A lot of y'all came to hear me preach the good gospel. Miss Mercedes Monet. Play the song real quick. Play the song. Play the song. Play the song. Play it. Play it. Play it. Oh, he said he don't have it right now. Y'all know the song, the Monet. It's on streaming services. You know the song. Okay, play the song. No, Graham is not the producer this time. He at work. I got a different producer that I love and enjoy. I love him. But no, we don't got the song this time, y'all. He said he'll play it before the song ends. He gotta find it. But the main topic of the show, the title, bets on yourself. Okay. Before we get into it, let's do a little background on Mercedes Monet. May 15th of 2022, Mercedes Monet, she walked out of, WWE due to, creative differences. They suspended her indefinitely until allegedly in the summer, the contract wasn't negotiable, apparently, according to the Fightful article. Um, January 4th of 2023, she shows up at Wrestle Kingdom 17, had everybody on fire. She came out looking good, looking happy. The aura was there. She looked at peace. I've never seen her like that. She could walk down that ramp. People was cheering and things like that. She was booked and things like that. May 21st, she had the ankle injury. when she faced against Willow Nightingale for the New Japan Strong Championship. It was an unfortunate injury, and she's been out ever since. Okay. I remember the discourse when this happened, and I'm pretty sure the crew do too. It was people making fun of her for getting injured. It was people saying maybe she should go back home. I remember. I definitely remember. I remember it. I seen it. I ain't say nothing. I didn't say a word. I ain't say nothing. I just looked. I watched and I peeped. Okay. Let me tell y'all her accomplishments before I get into what I need to get into. Okay. If you don't know, in WWE, she was very well accomplished. 6-time women's champion, 3-time tag team women's champion. She's a triple crown champion, Grand Slam champion. She's that girl. She was that girl in NXT. She was an NXT champion and had probably one of the best women's matches ever when she was at NXT. And also one of my personal favorites was a match she had against Charlotte at Raw when she won the Raw championship, her first Raw Women's Championship. That's one of my favorite matches of her. And also when she faced Bayley at NXT. Because that match right there, if that match never that match is like a butterfly effect when it comes to women's wrestling in America. I'm gonna say it again. Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks at the time versus Bayley and NXT. That match is a butterfly effect for Americans women's wrestling. There's no debate about that. There's no debate about that. If you have your Bibles. If now she made a conscious decision for herself to take a chance and walk out of a creative decision that did not benefit not just her, but the women's division. And we're seeing it currently. We're seeing it currently, okay? If we're going to be tag team champions, it needs to we this needs to match with this, and this, like, it needs to make sense because I take my career seriously. Take me seriously. I'm the 6-time women's champion. I'm one of the 4 horsewomen. I revolutionized women's American wrestling. Take me seriously. Let me tell you why Mercedes Moné is influential to me personally. If you have your Bibles, y'all thought I was lying when I said I wouldn't. I'm preaching today right now, okay? I'm a Southern woman. I'm from Texas, so y'all know. Y'all know I'm gonna get a little biblical with this topic because it applies to everybody. 2 Corinthians 5 and 13. It says your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. That's Mercedes Moné. I'm gonna say it one more time. Your time is limited. No, I'm sorry. 2 Corinthians do not say that. For if we are besides ourselves, it is for God. If we are of sound mind, it is for you. I'm gonna say it one more time because I messed up. That's not what 2 Corinthians said. 2 Corinthians 5:13 said, if for If we are besides ourselves, not saying in a cocky way, it's saying distraction, intelligence. It is for God. If we are a sound mind, which means intelligence in biblical references, it is for you. And if you don't understand what that means Mercedes Monet knows, and she is humbled enough to know to let God work. Come on, get your put your Bibles emoji on the chat. Put your Bibles emoji on the chat. We getting a little bit holy right now. We getting a little bit holy right now, okay? Mercedes Monet, what she did, she just let God work. Okay. Now, the first quote that I said in the beginning for if we, your time is limited, don't waste it living someone else's life, that came from Steve Jobs. We got the iPhone and stuff. Steve Jobs said that your time is limited. Don't waste it living someone else's life. That's what betting on yourself is about. It's so many wrestlers we have seen throughout history bet on themselves. I take it even back. I don't like this man, but he's one of those that betted on himself. Not in a good way now, in a way that pleased him, but he still bet on himself. I don't like him and I hate that I have to use him, but it's accurate to what I'm saying. Hulk Hogan betted on himself when he joined WCW. And still to this day, nobody has the same contract as he had in WCW. Nobody understands the contract that he had. Okay? But he betted on himself because he know who he is. Stone Cold Steve Austin betted on himself when he chose to walk out because he didn't want to. I helped save this company, and you asking me to do this. And that man had no choice but to bring him back onto WWE because they was losing viewerships. The sponsors was concerned. Dwayne Johnson betted on himself when he chose to leave wrestling and pursue movies, Hollywood. In the beginning, if you was there, you remember they thought he was going to fail. So what he did was he betted on himself taking some of these movie roles that he originally didn't want to do. The Mummy Returns and all of that other stuff. But he knew I got to do this in order to get to here to here. That's betting on yourself. Of course, with the help with other things, but that's besides the point, okay? Recently, years ago, I ain't gonna say recently, years ago, John Moxley betted on himself when he chose not to tell nobody, I'm not resigning my WWE contract. I'm not even going to tell nobody I'm going to AEW. And he showed up at AEW and people was like, he's nobody cared, blah, blah, blah. And he built himself up. I can be without this company. I could still be great. I'll take it even further. AJ Styles betted on himself when he left New Japan. That's another one that betted on himself. You gonna get lost in the shuffle. You're not gonna be the top star at WWE, and he still took that chance. Kurt Angle betted on himself when he went to TNA. You just a WWE star. You ain't gonna mean nothing at TNA. Kurt Angle is one of the greatest phases in his career. My point is, everybody in some way has betted on themselves, whether if it's wrestling or outside wrestling. And Mercedes Moné is getting so much backlash for betting on herself. How dare a woman bet on herself? How dare a Black woman bet on herself? How dare a woman that knows her worth is betting on herself? Let me tell you how my God works. I'm pretty sure years ago, Mercedes Moné was like, I'm going to be the greatest WWE wrestler of all time. And God was like, no, you're going to be the greatest female wrestler of all time. Come on, y'all. Put the Bible in the emojis. Put the Bible in the comments. With betting on yourself, like 2 Corinthians 5:13 says, betting on yourself is not about the things that you thought was for you, but it's more of what God has planned for you. See, Mercedes Moné probably thought, I'm going to be the best WWE wrestler there is. And God was like, no, 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 no. You're going to be the greatest female wrestler there is. And if y'all don't see what she's doing, because she admitted, I will go back because I have some business to take care of. And you know what that means? She's not trying to be the greatest WWE female wrestler ever. She's trying to be, no, not trying. She is going to be, not even trying. She is going to be the greatest female wrestler, I'm sorry, not wrestlers, female wrestler there ever is, ever was.
Moné. Moné.
Turn up.
Moné. Moné.
Let me tell y'all something about betting on yourself. Because I'm one of those that betted on myself too. I'm going to tell y'all. Because I'm very transparent. If you don't know my story in wrestling media, I'm going to tell you. They'll never give her that title. But it don't matter who is they. Because when it come, let me tell you something, Rodney. Because when she retires and she come in that Hall of Fame, they got to acknowledge all of her accomplishments. And all of her accomplishments is going to outweigh everybody that's in the 4 horsewomen. All of her accomplishments is going to outweigh everybody that is her ops. So it's not about that. This is where I'm getting to when it comes to betting on yourself. Who cares what anybody thinks? Especially when you moving where God has put in front of you. Who cares? This is happening for a reason. Things happen for a reason. When it comes to betting on yourself, y'all, in life analogy, betting on yourself has 2 things. The con sometimes is you hitching yourself to someone else's vision of you. And you transfer all your risk to them. giving them power over you. It leaves you complacent when you do not bet on yourself. All you is part of the same patterns in life. When you bet on, if you don't bet on yourself, like if you just remain stagnant. Now, I'm not shading nobody because we're in an inflation. And sometimes how life is when we're in an inflation, especially us millennials, we don't have time to kind of bet on ourselves because we have to deal with reality. Bills got to be paid. Kids got to be fed. I get that. I get all of that. I'm a single mother of two. I betted on myself. I betted on myself. Still is to this day. When I first did All Elite with Keeks and I had the idea of All Elite with Keeks, you think I ain't know people was just gonna be like, try to put me on the back burner because I choose to cover AEW? Not get the same approach from people because I'm not covering WWE? I didn't care about that. What mattered to me is what I enjoy doing. You think people gonna view me as tribalistic? Of course they do. You don't think people view me as, certain things? Of course they do. But they do that because I cover AEW. Because if I cover WWE, none of that shit wouldn't have mattered. And that's the truth. And I knew that. I'm street smarts and book smarts. Come on. You can't phase somebody like me. I knew that. And I'm pretty certain Mercedes Moné knew that too. Nobody is a fool to blindly go in betting on themselves. They know, like, people gonna cheer me, people gonna boo me. I'm pretty certain she knew the crew. Some of the crew's gonna be against it. Some of the crew's still gonna support me. Some people gonna say I didn't matter here, and some people gonna be like, I matter only here. She probably knows that. That's the thing about with people that bet on themselves. They know what people are gonna say. This ain't new. She knew. She's smart enough. She's smart. She's a businesswoman. A woman that knows her worth. You think she's blind? No. It also says in the life analogy, when you choose not to bet on yourself, all you're doing is belittling on yourself so other people can determine things for you. I don't know who I'm speaking to. But if you do not know how to bet on yourself, if you do not see yourself or see what you're worth, it's some things you need to recollect and rethink in your life. It's a lot of content creators that don't think for themselves. It's a lot of content creators out here that don't bet on themselves because the politics has allowed them to not bet on themselves. But I'm here to say to all of you that is scared to bet on themselves, that is scared to rub people the wrong way, stop trying to hold on to people that God is trying to release in your life. I'm a living testimony to it, baby. Everybody
Shikira ba ba ba. That's when the blessings come in.
blessings come in.
Yes, little girl. Stop trying to bring on people that's not meant to be brought on. Okay? That's the problem. And that's why it's so frowned upon that Mercedes Moné is still choosing to go to AEW. I've seen all of the discourse. I've seen people talking about why she going to that cheap and blase, blase, blase. I've seen people say they call it the other company and then be the main ones talking about they so tribalistic, but also call WWE home. You doing the same shit with your big back ass. Okay? If you ain't never betting yourself in your life, you ain't gonna understand what that feels like. Betting on yourself is not easy. Sometimes it will lead you in tears because you know you're gonna have to leave some people behind. You're gonna know that people that you're close with is not gonna understand what your goal is. It's gonna be times you're gonna be like, "Am I sure I'm making the right decisions?" But that's what betting on yourself is about. Y'all need to bet on yourselves even at your jobs. In life, you always have to bet on yourself. If you're not religious, I whatever, okay? Me, Keeks, God is first in my life. I may cuss you out today, but I'm gonna repent tomorrow or that same day, depends. I have gotten better on holding my tongue sometimes. I'm getting better. But y'all have to understand when it comes to betting on yourself, it means God's got you. And this is part of his plan. Y'all listen to Drake. Drake said God's plan for a reason. Your plan might be small, but God's plan is always big. See, Mercedes Moné, I'm pretty certain, like I said earlier, when she started at first, she probably thought, I want to be the greatest WWE wrestler of all time. And God was like, no, baby, you about to be the greatest wrestler of all time. Not just WWE, baby. Are you ready? And he prepped her to get to this point. When she started learning her value, he knew she was in the right direction. Sorry, y'all, I had to yell at my kids. He prepped her to this point. If Mercedes Moné is listening, because she's active with Public Enemies, I want her to know it's people like me and others see what you're doing. And what you're doing is inspiring all of us to continue to bet on ourselves. What you're doing is a God's testament. Not everybody is meant to be crew. Now you know who your real crew is. You know who your real fans are. You know who your day ones are, because if they real crew, they still gonna ride beside you no matter what promotion you go to. And I can say that because if you know my story of how I'm a wrestling fan and how I jumped from promotion, y'all knew I followed Jericho. I never followed the promotion. I followed the wrestlers. So I understand what some of these crew is going through. Trying to learn New Japan and trying to learn things. And that was me. When he left WCW and he didn't show up, I didn't show up either. When he showed up at WWE, I tuned into WWE. When he showed up at New Japan, who is Kenny Omega and this and this and this? That was me. So shout out to the real crew that is willing to be open. I say open, not closed-minded. Open to AEW's ways and not expecting WWE out of AEW. That's the key. That is the key to all of this. If you are a crew, if you tuning into my show the first time, if you are crew, y'all have to understand AEW ways is not the same as WWE ways. So if you're expecting certain things in AEW because she is there, you might as well just wait until she pop right back up in WWE, okay? Because if you're gonna expect WWE out of AEW because she is there, AEW is not for you. Because AEW is back on that 2021 shit. Okay? So, what I'm saying to everybody in life, everybody that is confident, everybody that knows their worth, bet on yourself. Because the last thing you want to do, because life is short. And a lot of us take advantage of life. You can be here today and gone tomorrow. If you are gone tomorrow, could you say you betted on yourself in your life? Mercedes Moné can say she betted on herself. Can you say you betted on yourself? I can say I betted on myself and still am. I still have more things to do. But can you say you betted on yourself in your life? Sometimes what you have in store for you is not what God has set for you. Some of the things that you're going through is prepping you up because what He has in front of you, and you just got to get there. Okay? So, what I'm saying to y'all when it comes to Mercedes Moné and big business, I'm gonna close. I like a preacher right now. I'm gonna close. I had to say this. I don't know who needs to hear it. I had it in my spirit, but somebody needs to hear this. Don't worry about what anybody has to say about what you got going on, and stop relying on what you have in store for you on other people. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: when it comes to wrestling, it's a dog eat dog world, especially in wrestling media and journalists and all of that. It is a dog eat dog world. You think somebody is for you, and the whole time they getting clout up off of you to get where they need to go. Okay, so bet on yourself. Bet on yourself. If you a black woman, every black woman, I don't care if you don't like AEW, every black woman should be supporting Mercedes Moné. Every black woman should be supporting Mercedes Moné right now. We ain't never had a black woman not only be the hottest draft, but was able to say, I know when to walk out. And still make noise. She ain't been wrestling again since May 21st. Mercedes Moné, if you are listening, or if you listen to the clips, just know AEW fan base, we riding behind you. And if you are a crew and you are open to being an AEW fan momentarily while she's there, because I know y'all not going to be there permanently, which I understand. Like I said, follow the wrestler. Just don't. The only thing I ask crew, if you listening, please do not be like CM Punk fans. That's all I ask. Please do not be like CM Punk fans. That's all we ask. CM Punk fans came up in here with that WWE type shit. Crew, I just ask. Understand that AEW is the alternative and there are things that AEW does is different than what you're used to. Just be cool and let things play out. AEW is not an instant gratification brand or promotion. Y'all have to kind of get that out of your head that instant things will happen. It won't. Things have to make sense. So, the only thing I ask for the crew, we got rid of the 2021 fans, okay? They're gone. They're back at WWE, and that's why they're so mad because they got to be WWE fans. The only thing that we're asking for the crew, be cool, be patient, and enjoy the ride. AEW is about fun. Have fun. Enjoy the wrestling because what this is doing is building Mercedes Moné's resume for when she retires and she does become one of the greatest American female wrestlers there was. Let AEW build onto her resume. Okay? That's it. I'm gonna do like Trick. What they say, turn to your neighbor. Oh. Everybody dance. Come on. Hey, hey. I'm about to start. I was about to start freestyling. Hold on. I done came down. Coming to Mercedes Moné on the ground. And she coming to the stage. Mercedes Moné coming to her thing. Let me want to do the Harlem Shake for some reason. I don't know. Is that me?
Moné. Moné.
Is that me just making want to do the Harlem Shake? Oh, and I come in the coming from that whip it. I be okay. Before I get out of here, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Again, Big Business is this Wednesday. Make sure everybody tune in. Make sure you get your tickets. Everybody be safe. Going out there. The TL is going to be crazy. We prepare for the Discourse crew. Get ready for war. Because you know how that. You already know how that Garrett the dude coming and the rest of these people coming. Crew, get ready for the people that need their rent paid with the Discourse. If they got that blue check mark crew, you already know they're gonna say some dumb shit. Okay, so get prepared for that. AEW fans, we got your back. Okay, crew, AEW fans, we got your back as long as you just be cool. That's all we ask. We just ask that y'all be cool, and we got y'all back. Because if y'all not cool, especially with the day ones with AEW, then we not cool. Because that's what happened with the CM Punk fans. Okay, it was a union, and then they started being on that extra, and then it just like, and we don't want that with the crew. Okay, we don't want that. I don't want that with the crew because y'all are pretty cool. Okay, I got into it with a few of y'all before, but bygones be bygones. Okay, I'm willing to squash it for the greater good. Okay, so thank y'all for tuning in to All Elite with Keeks. I am every Monday on live. It's Women History Month. Make sure y'all celebrate women's in wrestling, women's in media, support women. And if you're a male and you're covering women's wrestling, how about not saying shit for them whole month? Because you got people saying yeah, you got people talking about where is Queen, I'm United and getting sassy. You got people just saying stuff that's a man and getting sassy. So if you a man, just shut the fuck up the whole month during this month. How about that? How about that? Yeah, I said it. What you gonna do? What y'all gonna do? Nothing. Okay. You ain't gonna do nothing but talk about me in a group chat like y'all always do. And don't say nothing. But the most that y'all do when y'all see me in person is do this. This what they do. This what they do, y'all. Oh my god, this Keeks. Oh my god, this Keeks takes a picture. I saw Keeks, but she didn't say nothing to me. The whole time I'm doing this. Can't see. So thank y'all for tuning in every Monday. Especially crew. If you new, I'm every Monday, 8 Central, 9 Eastern time. Women business and things like that. And thank y'all for tuning in. Hear my getaway music.
First of all, there's no such thing as white-collar crime. And there's definitely no such thing as black-on-black crime. Crime is crime. Let me explain something to you. I don't care if you have a white collar or a tank top. If you rob me, I'm gonna whoop your ass.